what it is. What it is. I got on a hat now, y'all. Cause I'm feeling some type of way about my damn hair. I'm just too lazy to do it because I do my own hair, and or sometimes my daughter do my hair, so I can't leave her out. I gotta give her kudos, but or B, I'm too busy, or C, both. And right now it's C, both. So I've been busy as hell. Okay, doctor's appointments, ripping up my floor in the house, moving stuff around, just trying to do life. Okay, so I want to talk about. So I'm not gonna like separate them. Hopefully, y'all catch it as I'm talking about it because I don't feel like going into all of that, and I don't want to make this video like super long. Okay, so we're gonna talk about gender roles. We're gonna talk about trauma bonds and childhood issues. Bum bum bum. No. Okay. I quit. I quit. Okay, so I ain't here to offend nobody. I love everybody. Like, I am not one to, I'm not here to like really judge. I'm just like working things out in my mind publicly, I guess you can say. You know what I'm saying? So if you disagree, if you agree, if not, you know, whatever. Okay, so like I was saying, I ain't here to offend nobody, so let's get started. So we all understand it's a new day, a real new day. And we just can't say women and men. So go with me on that. And I'm not about to get into all of that. But y'all know, everybody know where they stand, where they land, where they sit, where they may. Okay? That's it. But as I see it, within every relationship, all humans have masculine and feminine energy. Like, I don't care if you're a man, I don't care if you're a woman. And I just feel like that's why some people, they I'm not getting into that part. But anyway, we all harness that, right? So that's how you can get out here and get it out the mud if you're a woman, or you could be soft and submissive if you're a woman. You know what I'm saying? You could get out here and do a man's job and still be a woman at home, or a man, he can still take care of the children and still, be the leader in his household, if he can balance those two things. So those are the two, like, energies, right? But I'm just going to leave it at energy because, we all have our own types of relationships these days. So, but most women or feminine energies, they want to go with the role that they are designed for. Like, as a woman, I am designed to be the helpmeet, according to the Bible, right? And if I am the helpmeet, I am here to assist him, you know. But in this society, a lot of times, being a woman, me, myself personally, I have gotten to certain situations where I may have had to step into the more masculine role and get out here and get it for the family and take care of everything that goes, bills, this, that, you running the show, okay? And if you're in that situation while in a relationship, the lines become blurred, and neither person really knows where to stand. Men start feeling emasculated, you know what I'm saying? Because you're now doing the things that he's supposed to be doing. And even though, for whatever the circumstance, he may have allowed you to take that role, whether it be I'm going to stay home and you go out, or I'm going to go out and make the money, but I'm going to leave you to all of the day to day runnings of the household and the bills. And, you know, because we all have our different ways of looking at the roles, okay, quote unquote. Um, oh, I went through a lot of these. Look at me. So when you're dealing with that as a woman, I'll say, when you're placed in a situation to have to be in a power or leadership um, situation, as far as the home and the day-to-day life goes, I feel that it strips you a little bit of your femininity. Not that you can't still be a woman and this and that, but and at the same time, it strips him of his masculinity. And now, keep going with me. So the woman is supposed to be able to go get him a sandwich if baby is hungry. You know what I'm saying? That is part of your designed role. Okay. Um, and he should be able to say that. There are certain things in my role that I should be able to demand of my mate as far as being in my role. Okay. But when you step out of that and now you are the breadwinner, you are also playing your role as the woman too, because you want to allow him to lead, but he's not really leading. So you're the one that's making all the decisions, which is leading. Um, and now there's certain times where he's like, well, why you ain't come to me and talk to me? And but I'm the one that's making the decision. So you don't feel a need to come to them and ask them for their opinion. Or when you do ask them, they don't have one, so you just move without one, with your decisions. And that is not fair to the other person, stripping them of their said role. Okay. And when you're still taking care of the womanly duties and stepping into the manly duties at the same time, it forces the woman, or even the man, if he's the one that's taking all of the responsibility and doing everything, like this is not a male bashing situation. But if he's doing everything too, it leads the other person to have resentments. Because it's kind of like when you was in school and you really wanted that A. I heard somebody say this the other day, and that's so crazy that it falls right into place. But when you really wanted that A, and it was a group project, and nobody seemed to be pulling their weight, so now you go around and you do everybody else's part, and everybody gets the A, but you don't feel as though anybody deserves it. You're resentful, you're mad, you're pissed off. You know what I'm saying? So then I want to talk about um, trauma bonding through childhood issues. So my dad, This is in no way to throw shade to my dad, because my dad was a pretty good dad, the best of his, to his ability. You know what I'm saying? I don't really have a bunch of bad issues with him. Everybody got their own thing with their mama and papa. Okay, so we're not talking about how evil nobody was, but I'm just looking at things from a different perspective. Once you take your feelings and your emotions out of a situation and just look at it for what it is, not who they are, not the titles, not nothing, just look at it. You know what I'm saying? So I stepped back and I looked at both of my parents to see how the hell I got here. Um, in certain situations in my life, right? So I look at my dad, right? And in their relationship, there was a big lack of energy given, whether it be for the survival, the home, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And sorry, I got some notes here, y'all. And my mother, she took on, I mean, like, it's not like he didn't work. It's not like he didn't give at all. It was just when he wanted to, because he had that option, I guess. I'm not gonna start. I'm not gonna go down that trip. But he didn't give much to their situation. You know what I'm saying? As far as being somebody's man in the house. Like, I'm not looking at this like, this is my daddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, it just this man and this woman and what they were going through. You know what I'm saying? And how I'm looking at it. So he didn't give a whole lot to the situation. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it wasn't really reciprocal on both sides. And she did a lot of the decision making and going out to work and making sure things got done. And she was the pusher as far as making sure everybody had what was needed to function in life. Okay. My dad was real fun, this and that, and da, da, da. But we're not talking about him as my daddy. We're talking about their relationship, right? But he was also like, he had a venomous tongue when it came to my mother. You know what I'm saying? It was like he said a lot of stuff that was just like, if that was my man, you know what I'm saying? Like, girl, what? So that's how I grew up, like thinking, like feeling to myself, like, man, I would not take no shit like that. Child, boo, please. I ain't never said it out loud, but at the same time, I was like, nope, nope. Okay. But I want you to watch the cycle. So as I got older, I also went towards a man who had a venomous tongue. Meeting him, didn't know that about him, okay? But I did know that about him, and let me tell you how. He was a big jokester, and his jokes were very outlandish, like outlandishly funny, like funny no, nonetheless. But it was a wow ass type of funny, which I very much enjoyed. Kept me on my toes. But that same funny and outlandishness come in an argument was it starts to eat at your ego. It starts to break down your self-confidence. It starts to really hurt you in places that you don't really get hurt from the average, because this is the person you're supposed to love and protect you, and all of the things that come along with what you think relationship is and all of that, right? So you getting hurt by your person. But this is a trait that I saw in my father, the outlandish type of talk. It was like a familiar place for me. And that's why I saw it to be so funny. And, even though his was a little more outlandish than my dad's, it was still outlandish nonetheless. So, like I said, there was a familiar place there, and it was like a moth to a flame. And I believe that we all do it. Now, check this out. I always wondered why my mother stayed to deal with that. And then it finally snapped in my mind one day. My mother's mother has a very venomous tongue as well. Um, I guess that's her love language. I have nothing bad to say about my granny. I mean, like, it's my granny. I love her. But she has a very venomous tongue, and she makes everybody around her feel like this big. By the time you leave from Thanksgiving dinner, you feel so fat and ugly, and the list goes on. Depending on what your particular problem is, she's going to shine a light on it. So I said to myself, if my mother grew up in an environment where someone or the person dearest to her was making her feel so bad verbally, then this wouldn't be so bad. The dysfunction that she's feeling and getting from her relationship is just not a big enough blow to let go. So when I seen that, I looked at my relationship and I was like, well, damn. I am continuing a cycle here. I am allowing somebody to make me feel bad inside, to make me feel as though I am not enough, or the things that they say to me does not need an apology. And if they want to do it again, they can at any moment, at any given time. And if you blow up because of whatever, then it's cool. And my thing is, over the years, I was not a peach. Of, I'm not gonna say I'm without saying, not at all. But the way that you deal with the situation sometimes can either be too much for the situation, or just right, or not enough, depending on who you are, right, and how you're handling this. They would always go past where it needed to be. And it started to eat at me. So I started to ask myself, and this is how I got to the point of my parents in the first place. How did I get here? And what made it okay? Blew my motherfucking mind. Traced it back to the fact that I grew up in a situation that was similar in a lot of different aspects to the situation that I was in, that I said I never wanted to be in. And that's what was making me so sad and so depressed. And I was like, oh my God, where is my running shoes? So then I thought about my dad. Like, how did he get here? You know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of broke down how I thought she may have got here. But how did he come to this place? And I don't really know enough. Like, even though I dealt with my dad's family more, um, there was a lot of secrets and separation and, shit. So I don't know really enough of them to really kind of break that down in my mind. But here we go. So on my dad's side of the family, the men in the family seem to have this thing where they are kind of verbally abusive in their relationships. They may not see it that way, but like I said, you don't really need to necessarily handle certain situations, every situation, quite the same. And, you do need to care about your mate's feelings and, how they perceive you because this is your fucking mate. This is the person that lay next to you every night. Like, are you sleeping with the enemy? Okay. But I was just like, damn, like, how did you become so bitter? And I mean, like, they're very handsome dudes, well, they were because they're kind of gone now. But I mean, one is still alive and he's still handsome or whatever. But like, what made you so bitter and shit talky and like, what's the hitch with women? Why you so mad, bro? What's that? That's just how I used to feel. You know what I'm saying? I mean, my family is kind of separated and off in other places. So, I don't really sit down and able to have these conversations. But regardless, you know, that was very toxic behavior. And where did you learn that from? Where did you learn that belittling behavior from? Like, I don't necessarily remember seeing that in my grandfather and my grandmother's relationship, but they were a lot older when I was coming through. So I didn't get to see them in their heydays. I don't know if they was cutting the rug, in the house and how my grandfather was, because we all kind of, as parents, put on a show for our kids and grandkids, if you have them, and whatever, family. You wouldn't act like you act with your friends in front of grandma, you know what I'm saying? Or grandma wouldn't act like that in front of you. So you really don't know who these people are for real, you know what I'm saying? But that is a big thing. Like, it's time to break some of these generational curses. Like, look deep within. Figure out why the fuck you respond to things the way that you do. Why should certain things piss you off so bad? And where did it come from? Is it equal to the situation at hand? Like, is it something that's like a trigger for you? Do you like blow up at certain little things? Like, dig deep, y'all. Figure this shit out before the same bullshit that you take from your parents, like, don't give it to the baby. Like, we probably already have given it to the baby, but it's time to break this shit, okay? Figure out why the fuck we acting like we acting, why the hell we can't have clear communication skills, why we can't have why our relationships aren't working, why we don't have friendships. What is it that you're bringing to the table? What baggage are you coming with that's making this situation blow up for you? It's not always the other person. And sometimes, well, a lot of times it is the other person. But first off, you have to start with you. Why did you pick this person? What about them was so exciting to you? And was the exciting part the part that got you trapped? Like, hey, come on, y'all. Let's think our way about this shit. Because this right here, dog, the way we going, y'all, is a trap. These kids is cutting up. I'm gonna talk about that one day soon in one of these videos too, like why I believe these kids is cutting up. I got a few situations about that, you know what I'm saying? But first and foremost, let's get our mental health together. You know, let's figure out the whys and the how. Like, why did we get here? How did we get here? What led us this way? You know what I'm saying? Like, and try to see if we can reverse some of this, because I always say that an old fool, a young fool turn into an old fool unless they don't want to be a fool no more. Me, I'm trying to stop myself from being one of those old ass fools. Like, if at any point in your life you stop learning, if you stop yourself from learning at 20, then you have the mentality of a 20-year-old at 60. Do you see what I'm saying? If you still hurting about some shit that happened when you was 10, then you still have a traumatic childhood wound that you are still reacting from at 60. I'm not trying to be no 60-year-old retard in any fashion, any form. I don't want to be retarded financially, mentally, emotionally, physically, nothing. Okay? If we even make it there, okay? I'm not trying to do that, y'all. So please, 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 everybody, I pray that we all get it together sooner than later. Because even if we can't do anything about the bullshit we taught our children, maybe we could fix it with the grands, the nieces, the nephews. Like, we can start over and fix this shit somewhere if you start with you. Everything starts with you.